Hello and welcome. It is the 29th of June, 2017, and my name is Derek. Let's talk about Bitcoin and silver. And as I stated in this video title, yes, I have sold some Bitcoin for silver at a fantastic deal, which is one of the reasons of which I did it. I'm going to go over why I think it's important to turn Bitcoin into precious metals, and strategies, or the strategy which I like, so the one I'm using. As far as this chart's concerned, I mean, look at this, man, kind of day. I can make a case for why I like it, meaning via like it, meaning I think it's going to go higher, why I hate it, why I think it's going to go lower, or why I think it's bullish or bearish. Okay, yeah, correctionary phase after this move in here. I mean, it is on the lower end, but if it's going to chop and down within this range, it's got to go down here before it goes up here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but... And then, oh man, I also know if you have a situation like a down move, you come up to the upper part of this band and you start to go lower, and it's not much further from being at a point like this where you might want to consider shorting and waiting to buy. Of course, I just bought, but... that is what you would be doing. But a lot of it is extremely choppy and decisive. And for me, any short-term movements lower at the current price and any short-term movements higher mean absolutely nothing right now. In the grand scheme of things, of course, for if you actually need to buy or sell. And with Bitcoin, there really isn't much to say here. It is at an extreme pause situation. So until it gets ready to get going, that could happen like now or in an hour or tonight or tomorrow. It's a whole bunch of neutrality. Now, as far as the Bitcoin to silver ratio, that is currently in at around 153.5 to 1. And I was able to buy very close to that ratio, as I was able to pick up 23 ounces, a minimum purchase at that of about 146.5 to 1 ratio. Because for myself, I want to buy silver for the obvious reasons I talk about. I expect it to go much higher. I talk about its manipulation level where once it's ready to go, once you get into a major financial debt-based crisis, which I see happening, that's what you want to have. So throwing that point out, when Bitcoin is going up and I'm increasing Bitcoin numbers, the portfolios can get, pretty good. And you're also at the state where you want to protect yourself from any unforeseeable cryptocurrency events. So therefore, by buying silver every so often to small amounts of the portfolio, it doesn't disrupt the ROI that I can get or a Bitcoin needed to trade, because okay, I just bought 23 ounces for a little over 15%. It worked out to exactly 15.61%. So it worked out that okay, just a decent amount of silver. Back in when I started the trading, back in here, at that stage, the ratio was like 70 to 1. And now with 15% of a Bitcoin, you're maybe getting 11 or 12 ounces of silver. Now that number, of course, is 23 for me. And then as that goes forward, I would think 15% of a Bitcoin might get you 30, 40, 50 ounces. And that's what the whole hope and plan is. Keyword hope. And of course, plan. So by taking little bits out of portfolio, you reassign it, of course, to... Mike Maloney says it well, that the price of silver as it stands really is near what I would call a safe floor. So as far as its risk-reward likelihoodness, its risk right now is much, much lower than the Bitcoin train is. But its reward is also much lower, at least definitely short term, than, of course, the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm a big component that I think the ratio, which again 150 or so now, will go to 234. Who knows how much higher if it can go to 5 to 800, but then come back down to 200, 150, maybe even 100, and then even lower. Who knows at that point? Because when the silver train, I think, will look like these cryptos and look like 1979 all over again, that would not surprise me. So anytime I can accumulate ounces of silver without having to transact in any kind of fiat currency, which I did, you know what? Pretty cool. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, by the way, how did I get that deal? Just because in case you are interested, I'm not advertising this company, but silvergoldbull, and I know it's for Canadian, this availability. That's the website. That's the bullion dealer out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And they have a 10-ounce silver bar, one per maximum one, at spot price. So that makes it very easy to get a good deal there. And then every so often they have these flash deals. And I was looking at it yesterday, and they gave me a flash deal of what I was looking at. And that was the just random silver coins for either Maples or the Eagles or the Kangaroos, the Philharmonics, the European one, I think, isn't all of the main ones. And I like them all. So it worked out to $25 per ounce, spot price 22 Canadian. That's about 15%. That's very reasonable prices. And there was just one individual coin that I thought it was only about 20% over spot that I wanted as well. So it got me a good deal as far as that's concerned. I am transitioning bit by bit Bitcoin into silver. But the key thing is, if you can turn 1 unit into 20, then you can take a small chunk of that 20 out. So now you take 19 into, say, 90. Oh, you can take a small chunk out of that, say 10. Now you turn 80 into so on, and then the prices go up. And that's why my hope is later on you can get even like larger quantities when you can outperform the Bitcoin market more, and its price goes up. Thus, the ratio, as I talk about the 3, 4, 500 days, there could be a lot of great silver deals in the future. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, keyword is hope. Thank you for tuning in.